Have you ever been there? I mean, you know English.
Yeah.
You've studied, right? You've got the vocabulary kind of tucked away somewhere. The grammar rules are,
Yeah.
well, you generally get them. Maybe you even did great on tests.
Uh-huh.
But then the moment comes, a real-life conversation. Someone asks you something out of the blue, that perfect chance to say what you think,
Yeah.
and what happens?
Yeah.
Your brain just freezes,
Yeah.
like total mental block. It's so frustrating. Your thoughts are racing, sure, but they're all in your native language.
Exactly. That internal chatter.
And you try to translate, right?
Yeah.
Building the sentence word by painful word in your head.
Yeah.
And by the time you finally have it ready, this perfect sentence.
Moment's gone.
The conversation's moved on. And you're left with that horrible sinking feeling, that knot of regret. We've all felt that, haven't we? Knowing you could have said something, but you just couldn't get it out.
Absolutely. And what you're describing, I mean, it's something so many people struggle with. It isn't just, forgetting a word for a second or getting tangled in some complex grammar. It actually goes much deeper than that. It's really about this kind of invisible barrier, a fundamental disconnect in how we're often taught to approach language, especially when it comes to using it spontaneously, in the real world.
Yeah, like a mismatch.
It's almost like your brain is trying to run two programs at the same time. One is desperately trying to translate, the other is trying to actually speak, and they just keep tripping over each other. It's inefficient.
Totally.
But what if, instead of that clunky, honestly exhausting translation process, your brain could just skip it, just go straight to English? Imagine the freedom in that.
Oh, wow. Imagine the flow.
The naturalness of the conversation, just expressing yourself without that whole internal battle. Pure liberation, really.
Imagine indeed. That freedom, that flow is exactly what we're going to dive into today. We've been really digging into some incredible insights from this audiobook. It's called Think in English, Speak with Confidence.
Oh, yes. Very insightful.
And honestly, it promises to completely transform the way we interact with English, moving us from that, that frustrating mental freeze to, well, genuine fluid confidence.
That's the goal.
So our mission today is basically to pull out the most powerful ideas, the real game changers from this source, to help you, listening right now, become that natural, smooth, confident English speaker you really want to be. We're talking a real practical shift here.
That's exactly right. And the core idea here, it's really powerful because it deliberately moves away from that traditional, sometimes overwhelming focus on just memorizing lists or chasing perfect grammar.
Which can feel impossible.
Right. While those things have their place, of course, this approach is all about a complete mindset shift. It's about actively training your mind, almost like rewiring your brain to think directly in English.
Rewiring, I like that.
And what's really interesting is how it frames learning a second language. It suggests it can, and maybe even should, mirror the way you learned your first language, as a kid.
How we all did it the first time.
Exactly. No textbooks, no pressure, just listening, copying, playing with sounds, trying things out. Consistent practice through immersion.
And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting. We're not just going to talk theory here. We're actually going to break down those mental barriers, the ones that stop you cold.
Those invisible walls.
Yes, and explore simple, practical things you can do every single day, starting now, to actually begin thinking in English. We'll build that speaking confidence step by step.
Incrementally.
We'll even learn why making mistakes isn't just okay, it's actually essential, crucial for learning faster. And how we can even, get this, reprogram our minds for fluency using daily affirmations.
The power of positive self-talk.
Get ready, because I think we're about to uncover some serious aha moments that could really change how you approach English from here on out. All right, let's circle back to that first scenario, the freezing up, because it's just so universal, that feeling.
It really resonates.
We've all been there. Imagine standing in front of someone who speaks perfect English. Your heart beats faster. Your mouth wants to form words, but your brain freezes. You know the answer's in there somewhere.
Mm.
You have the words, the grammar, but it's like hitting a brick wall mentally. The information's stored, but you just can't access it when you need it most. So what's actually happening? What's causing that frustrating gap?
Well, fundamentally, what's really going on is this deeply ingrained habit. Often, it's completely unconscious. It's the habit of thinking first in our native language.
Right. Formulating the whole thought there first.
Exactly. Crafting the entire idea, the sentence, everything in your mother tongue, and then attempting to translate that fully formed thought into English. And that translation step, that's the culprit.
That's the bottleneck.
That is absolutely the primary reason for the freeze, the hesitation, that feeling of difficulty. The book actually describes it as a basic inefficiency in how you're communicating. It's like trying to run a marathon wearing ankle weights.
Oof. Yeah, I can feel that.
You might technically be able to finish, maybe, but it's incredibly slow, it's difficult, and ultimately it just drains your energy and maybe most importantly, your confidence. You're essentially forcing your brain to do an extra unnecessary mental calculation with every single sentence.
That analogy of the ankle weights, it really hits home. It perfectly explains why speaking can sometimes feel so heavy, so laborious.
Mm.
And it's crucial to remember, as the source material really emphasizes, that English isn't just, a pile of words or grammar rules.
Yeah.
It's more than that. It's a tool of connection, opportunity, and expression.
A tool, yes.
The traditional way of learning, focusing mainly on grammar books, endless vocabulary lists, exercises, while okay for building some foundation, often completely misses the most critical part: confidence.
A belief you can actually use it.
Yeah. It's like having a workshop full of amazing tools, but being too scared to pick them up and actually build something. The knowledge might be there, technically, but that bridge to actually using it feels missing.
That's a great way to put it. And the material points out something really key here. Confidence isn't born from reaching some kind of mythical state of perfection. That's not the goal.
Right.
It's cultivated when you feel you can think clearly, express yourself without hesitation, and feel free in English conversations. It's fundamentally about communication, about connecting, getting your message across, not about flawless textbook execution every single time.
Communication over perfection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we zoom out a bit, thinking about how we learn language generally, think back again to how you learned your first language. As a child.
Yeah, no flashcards involved there.
Right. No textbooks. Nobody handed you a rule book. You learn by just being immersed, listening, copying sounds, making sounds that turned into words, repeating things, just practicing constantly. And slowly, naturally, your brain just started thinking in that language.
Effortlessly, it seems.
And the author argues quite strongly that this natural, almost effortless process can absolutely be replicated when learning English. Doesn't matter how old you are or what level you're at now, it's about tapping into that powerful, innate learning mechanism we all already have.
So what does this really mean for us then? For learners trying to get past that plateau?
It means that real fluency, genuine fluency, isn't about never making mistakes. I mean, let's be honest, even native speakers make mistakes constantly. They stumble, they misspeak, they use filler words.
All the time.
Instead, true fluency, as this book defines it, is fundamentally about confidence, the ability to speak your thoughts without fear, hesitation, or self-doubt. It's that core belief that you can communicate, maybe not perfectly, but effectively, and that you have the tools, the resilience to handle any little linguistic bumps along the way.
That inner belief. Okay.
And this connects beautifully to another analogy the book uses, thinking of your brain as a muscle.
The brain, Jim.
Kind of. The more you consciously practice thinking directly in English, the stronger and more efficient this thinking in English muscle becomes. Now, initially, it will feel heavy, like you said, with those ankle weights.
Yeah, effortful.
Words might not come easily. It takes real effort to bypass that ingrained translation habit. But, and this is the crucial part, With consistent, deliberate practice, even just small amounts every day, that process gets smoother, lighter, and automatic.
Like the weight's coming off.
Exactly. And the ultimate sign that this deep transformation is happening, according to the insights we've pulled out, it's when you catch yourself maybe dreaming in English,
Yeah.
or writing a quick shopping list or a note to yourself in English without even thinking about it. Or maybe you just find yourself talking to yourself, that internal chatter, but it's happening in English.
That's the real shift.
That's when you know your brain has truly started to rewire itself for direct English thought. The default is changing.
That is such a powerful and honestly really inspiring vision, isn't it? Catching yourself dreaming in English that just signals such a deep subconscious change.
Mm-hmm.
This whole journey, it feels like it's not just about gathering information, but it's deeply about motivation too, right? And fostering that fundamental belief in your own ability to change how your brain works.
Absolutely. It's about self-efficacy.
So the question that's kind of hanging in the air now, the one we really want you, the listener, to think about is, are you ready? Are you ready to stop hauling around that heavy luggage of constant internal translation and start truly living in English, feeling lighter, more spontaneous, more free? Because that's what this deep dive is all about, helping you achieve. Now, let's pivot slightly and really zoom in on those moments where you absolutely know the answer, you know the words, but they won't come out.
The tip of the tongue phenomenon amplified.
Exactly. You're in that coffee shop, maybe just relaxing, and the person next to you leans over and asks, "Excuse me, do you know the time?" Simple question.
Totally innocuous.
You know exactly how to answer. You can see the clock right there.
Right.
But your brain goes blank. You feel maybe a little surge of panic. Your palms might get sweaty. And instead of just replying easily, maybe you just kind of mumble or look away or avoid eye contact.
Yeah, the avoidance strategy.
And it's not usually about your actual English knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Often, your English is way better than you give yourself credit for in those moments.
Yeah.
No, this is about something else, something the book calls the invisible walls inside your mind.
Precisely. Those invisible walls, or mental barriers, as the audiobook terms them, they're almost always built by one incredibly powerful emotion: fear.
Fear. Okay.
It's the fear of making mistakes, it's the fear of being judged by other people, and it's that deep-seated, often paralyzing fear of not sounding perfect.
The perfection trap.
These fears, even if they're subtle, even if you're not consciously aware of them all the time, they act like really powerful blockades. They stop your natural English flow dead in its tracks. They basically create this psychological cage around your ability, keeping your thoughts locked inside.
A cage. Yeah. Feels like that sometimes.
But here's the secret, and it's a really profound one that the book emphasizes again and again. These barriers, they aren't permanent. They're not made of concrete. They are built entirely by your thoughts.
Okay.
And crucially, because they're built by your thoughts, they can be dismantled, they can be destroyed by deliberately choosing new thoughts. The path to speaking confidently, it really starts not with your mouth, but with making a fundamental shift in your mindset.
That is a total game changer right there. Just realizing these walls aren't solid. They're made of.
Well, they're made of us.
Exactly. We build them. We can tear them down.
So let's shine a light on these main barriers, maybe dissect them a bit, starting with probably the most common one, the fear of mistakes. This idea that making a mistake means you failed, it's so deeply ingrained, isn't it? Especially from school.
Oh, absolutely. We're conditioned from a young age in many educational systems to see mistakes as bad, as something to be avoided at all costs. Wrong answers get marked down.
Red 10 everywhere. Right. But the author asks us to think about how children learn to walk. Do they fall?
Constantly.
All the time. Do they just give up because they fell? Never. Each fall, each little stumble isn't seen as failure. It's actually vital feedback. It's a step closer to success. Their bodies are learning.
You just get back up.
Mistakes in English are exactly the same. They are tangible, undeniable proof that you are actively learning, that you're experimenting, you're pushing your boundaries, you're growing. They are not proof of failure.
Proof of learning. I like that.
And what's fascinating here is how this reframes our whole perception of errors. They're not setbacks. They're essential feedback loops, guiding you, pointing you directly to what needs a bit more attention or practice. Think of them like helpful signposts on your learning journey.
Okay, helpful signposts, not roadblocks.
Yeah, got it.
And then there's that other big one, the fear of judgment. We cook up these elaborate stories in our heads, don't we? Where everyone's watching us, just waiting to pounce on every little grammatical slip or mispronounced word.
The imaginary audience.
Like a panel of judges following you around.
Yes, we'd imagine this incredibly harsh, critical audience, often far, far worse than anything we'd actually encounter in reality. But what's really interesting here, and something the material strongly emphasizes, is that the reality is usually completely different.
How so?
Most people, particularly native English speakers, actually tend to admire your courage for even attempting to speak another language. They often understand how difficult it is.
They appreciate the effort.
They genuinely respect the effort you're making to communicate, that judgment you're so afraid of. More often than not, it's just an illusion your own mind creates. It's a self-imposed barrier that doesn't really reflect external reality.
Right.
Most people are actually rooting for you, not waiting for you to fail.
That's actually really comforting to hear.
Okay.
And finally, the barrier of lack of confidence itself. This can feel like it's just part of who you are, right? Like some people are confident, some aren't. A fixed thing.
Yeah, it often feels like an inherent trait, but this raises a really important question. If confidence feels so elusive, how do we actually get it? How do we build it if we don't feel we have it?
Right.
And the book offers a really powerful reframe here. It says, confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from practice and experience.
Practice and experience, not perfection.
Exactly. Every single time you push yourself to speak, even if it's just a short phrase, even if it comes out imperfectly, you are actively training your brain. You're building that confidence muscle, strengthening it. It's not some magical gift you're waiting to receive. It's something that's earned through action.
Yeah.
It's a skill you develop, one small successful attempt after another.
Earned through action. Okay. So if these barriers are built by our thoughts, how do we actively start tearing them down? The book gives us 3 really powerful steps. Step 1, change your inner voice. This feels huge because that voice in our head can be so constant, so critical.
It is arguably the most crucial step. That internal narrative you play on repeat, it's incredibly powerful. If your inner voice is constantly whispering or maybe even shouting, I'm not good enough, my English is terrible, I'll just sound stupid, then guess what? Your confidence will shrink. It will stay hidden.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Precisely. So the solution is active mental reprogramming. You have to consciously, deliberately replace those negative, draining thoughts with empowering affirmations. Things like, every word I manage to say in English makes me stronger, or mistakes are my teachers, they're helping me learn. This isn't just about positive thinking. It's a deliberate act of reshaping how you see yourself, literally changing the script running in your head.
Becoming your own cheerleader, not your harshest critic. I get it. Okay, step 2, focus on communication, not perfection. This feels like shifting the goalpost, right? From flawless grammar to just being understood.
Exactly. What's your ultimate goal when you speak? Is it to sound like a perfect grammar robot or a walking dictionary? Or is it to connect with another person, to share an idea, to be understood?
The second one, obviously.
Right. Think about telling an exciting story to a friend. What really matters in that moment, it's the connection, the message getting across, the shared understanding, the emotion. Your friend doesn't really care if you used the past perfect correctly or stumbled over an idiom. They care about the story. Shifting your focus to effective communication, to just getting your idea across, takes immense pressure off achieving flawless execution. Connection becomes the win.
Connection is the win. Love that. And the third step, which feels really practical and achievable. Small wins, big confidence. This sounds like chipping away at the fear bit by bit.
It absolutely is. Don't wait for some grand, perfect moment to finally speak up in a big debate. That's too much pressure. Instead, actively look for and celebrate the micro victories throughout your day.
Like what?
These could be incredibly simple things. Saying thank you clearly to a cashier, successfully asking a stranger for directions, ordering your coffee entirely in English. Each tiny success, each small act of communication, the author notes, destroys a piece of the barrier. It builds momentum. It proves to your brain again and again, hey, I can do this. It's like collecting small stones that eventually build a really solid foundation of belief.
Destroying a piece of the barrier with each small win.
Wow.
Very visual. These steps are so actionable. And the book gives us some immediate practical exercises too. One is the mirror exercise.
Yes, the mirror technique.
Every morning you stand in front of a mirror and just say one simple English sentence to yourself like, today's a good day, or I will speak English with confidence today. The source admits, yeah, at first it feels silly, maybe even awkward,
It can feel a bit strange initially.
but it promises that over time you'll notice your brain shifting. You
Yep.
start to internalize that confident image you're projecting.
And that makes sense because it's a direct interaction with your own self-image, your identity. You're literally looking yourself in the eye and affirming your capability. It creates this strong visual and auditory link with your confident self, making it feel more real.
Right, connecting the words to you.
Another really powerful exercise is the recording exercise. Just record yourself speaking English for maybe 1 minute a day. That's it. The goal isn't perfection at all.
Just consistency.
Exactly. Consistency in developing self-awareness. Listen back later, maybe the next day. And the key is not to listen just to pick apart every single error, although you can note one or two things if you want, but listen primarily to track your overall growth. Listen for fluency, for confidence in your tone. You'll probably be surprised at the subtle improvements you start hearing over time.
Okay, so tracking progress, not just mistakes. That's helpful. So we're basically building these bridges of confidence piece by piece. And remembering, crucially, that these barriers, these walls, they only exist in our minds. And because they're there, in our minds, we actually hold the power to dismantle them. With every single step we take, every sentence we manage to speak, every small win we celebrate, we're weakening that wall of fear and building a strong, solid bridge towards genuine confidence.
It's actually a really empowering thought when you realize you have that control. Okay, here's where things get really interesting and potentially like a total game changer for how we approach this whole thing.
The core practice, maybe.
I think so. Think about how much time you spend just talking to yourself internally all day long, right?
The internal monologue, yeah. Constant.
You're narrating your morning routine, planning what to eat, replaying conversations, imagining future ones. It's this endless stream of thought. Now, just imagine, what if all those thoughts, that entire internal world, were happening in English? You wouldn't just be studying English for an hour a day. You'd be genuinely living it, immersing yourself 24/7 from the inside out. That is the absolute core idea. And the book, it elaborates beautifully on that problem of translation we talked about, describing it as carrying heavy luggage everywhere you go.
Right. Those ankle weights again.
Exactly. It's slow, it's uncomfortable, it's fundamentally inefficient, and it just drains your mental energy and your confidence. You're constantly converting. It's exhausting.
Totally.
But, and here's the exciting part, when you actively train your brain to think directly in English, you metaphorically travel light. And what happens then is pretty remarkable.
What happens?
Sentences start to flow much more naturally, directly from your thoughts out to your lips.
Yeah.
Your speech becomes more spontaneous, more expressive, and your confidence doesn't just grow a little bit, it really soars because you're operating on this direct current. There's no conversion loss.
That mental picture traveling light versus heavy luggage,
Yeah.
that's incredibly vivid. It makes total sense why that translation step feels like such a drag on fluency. And the good news, according to this material, is that you don't suddenly need to find hours and hours of extra formal study time in your day. That's often unrealistic.
Right.
What you need instead are consistent daily practices that turn English into a habit. It's about weaving it seamlessly into your life, not just scheduling isolated study blocks. It's about making English part of your mental furniture, so to speak.
Exactly. It's about integrating English into the very fabric of your everyday thinking. So let's dive into 5 really powerful techniques that you can literally start using today, right after listening to this, to begin making that internal shift.
Okay, I'm ready. First one, practice 1. Narrate your day. This sounds almost too simple, but I can see how it could be effective.
It is deceptively simple, but incredibly effective because it taps directly into the mental processes you're already doing anyway. The core idea is just to describe your routine, your actions, your observations in English.
Silently or out loud?
Either silently in your head is great, or even quietly aloud if you're alone, maybe during your commute, while making coffee, doing chores, going for a walk. So for instance, you wake up and you think, okay, I'm getting out of bed now. The floor feels cold. Need to find my slippers. Okay, walking to the kitchen, go and make some tea.
Just describing the mundane.
Precisely. Later, maybe you're cooking lunch. Right. I'm chopping vegetables. Here's an onion, a carrot, some celery. They smell quite fresh. I think I'll make a stir fry today. The impact of this seemingly basic practice, it's profound.
How so?
It actively forces your brain to immediately link actions and observations with English words and sentence structures. It bypasses that native language translation step entirely because you're generating the thought directly in English. You're building direct neural pathways.
Like laying down new tracks.
Exactly. And what you'll find over time is that your internal thoughts, your planning, your problem solving, just your general internal chatter will start to naturally switch to English more and more without you even consciously trying or forcing that internal translation. It starts to feel less like studying and more like just living.
That's brilliant, building those direct pathways.
Yeah.
Okay, practice 2. Ask and answer simple questions. This seems like it builds on the narration but makes it more interactive, even if it's just with yourself.
It absolutely does. It gets your brain into a more conversational mode. So throughout your day, just engage in a little internal Q&A session. Ask yourself simple questions in English and then actively formulate the answers in English.
Like what kind of questions?
Really simple stuff. What am I doing right now? Internal answer. I'm drinking water. Or how do I feel today? I feel quite excited about this project. You can make it reflective too. What do I need to remember to do later? Yes, I need to send that email. This constantly trains your brain to operate in that conversational mode, kind of prepping you for real-life interactions. You're essentially rehearsing the mental agility needed for back-and-forth communication, constantly stimulating those English-speaking circuits in your brain.
Fantastic. Like doing little mental warm-ups all day. Then there's practice 3. Label your world. This sounds like a great way to really embed vocabulary in your environment rather than just abstract lists.
Yes, this is about deep integration and adding descriptive richness. You pick common objects around you, your phone, a chair, your keys, a book, and you name them and describe them in English. But here's the key difference. Go beyond just the simple label.
Hey, I mean,
So instead of just thinking chair, you'd think, this is a wooden chair. It looks quite old, but it's actually very comfortable. I usually sit here to read in the evenings. Or for your phone, This is my smartphone. It's got a cracked screen, unfortunately, but it still works fine. I use it mostly for calls, messages, and listening to these deep dives.
Nice plug.
The more detail you add, the more deeply that vocabulary gets integrated into your actual thinking process. You forge richer, more contextual connections than just memorizing a word on its own. You're not just learning words, you're learning to think about your world, to describe it in English.
I can definitely see how that would make words stick much better.
Yeah.
Okay, practice 4. Create mini stories. Now, this one appeals to me using imagination, making it a bit more creative.
Exactly. Our brains love stories, and this technique harnesses that natural inclination. Engaging your imagination with short, simple English narratives based on things you observe makes the whole process more fun and creative, which is absolutely crucial for keeping it up consistently.
So give me an example.
Okay, so you see a man walking his dog in the park. You might create a quick story in your head. That man is walking his dog. The dog looks really happy, lots of energy. Maybe they come to this park every single morning, even when it rains. I wonder what the dog's name is.
Oh,
Or you see a fast car drive past. Wow, that red car is going very quickly. The driver must be in a real hurry. Hope they get there safely. This builds fluency by actively connecting words into meaningful, memorable narratives, not just listing isolated terms. It forces your brain to think about connections, sequence, maybe even simple characters, all in English.
making it fun is such a key element, isn't it? Something often missing from traditional methods. Okay, finally, practice 5. Set English triggers. That sounds clever. Like a way to automate the shift, almost tricking your brain.
It really is about automation, creating almost like a Pavlovian response for switching languages. You deliberately designate specific, recurring moments in your day when you commit to only using English in your mind.
Like specific routines.
Exactly. For instance, maybe every time you brush your teeth, that's your think in English time. Or every time you check the time on your watch or phone. Or maybe every time you open your phone to check social media, you first have to think one thought in English. Or even just when you put on your shoes to go out.
Linking it to an existing habit.
Precisely. These specific triggers serve as automatic reminders for your brain to switch into English mode. It helps embed English as a consistent, almost subconscious habit. You're giving your brain clear, repeated cues to operate in English, making that mental switch feel effortless over time.
These are fantastic, really practical strategies, but I know what a lot of listeners might be thinking right now because it's definitely a common sticking point.
Let me guess. What if I don't know the word?
Exactly. What if I don't know the right word when I'm trying to narrate my day or describe something? That's often where that mental freeze happens all over again, and people just give up and switch back to their native language.
Right. This is a really important question, a common hurdle. And the book offers a very simple yet incredibly powerful solution. Whatever you do, don't stop.
Don't stop talking internally.
Don't stop the flow of English thought. If you forget a specific word, don't just revert to your native language or get completely stuck. Instead, describe it. Use the words you do know to talk around it.
Circumlocution.
Exactly. So if you can't remember the word umbrella, you could think, the thing I use when it rains keeps me dry. Or if you blank on microwave, maybe the box in the kitchen, it heats my food very fast.
Okay, describe it instead.
This keeps your thoughts flowing firmly in English. It pushes your creativity, builds your descriptive skills, and you can always look up the precise word later when you have a chance. The absolute key is to maintain the momentum of English thought, even if it's not perfect English.
That's brilliant. It keeps that English channel in your brain open and active instead of constantly switching it off and on. And there's even a bonus method mentioned in the material, right? Keeping an English journal.
Yes, a really wonderful reflective practice, very personal. Every night, just commit to writing maybe 3 simple sentences about your day in English.
Just 3.
Just start with 3. It doesn't need to be a masterpiece or even particularly insightful. Just a quick summary, a feeling, something you did. Today was busy. I worked on the report. I felt tired afterwards. The author notes that over time, you'll naturally find your sentences getting longer. Your grammar will subtly improve without conscious study. Your ideas will start to flow more freely onto the page as you gain confidence just forming complete thoughts in written English. It's a quiet, personal practice that powerfully reinforces that habit of thinking in English.
And the really crucial insight here, woven through all of these practices, is just to celebrate every tiny step, right? The book says something like, the first day, maybe you only manage to think in English for 1 minute. That's fine. Soon, it becomes 10 minutes, then 30, then maybe an hour.
Exactly. It's not about suddenly adding hours more study time to your already packed schedule. It's about fundamentally changing the language of your internal thoughts, integrating English into the mental life you're already living.
It's a shift in operation, not just adding tasks.
Precisely. It's a profound shift in how your mind works day to day. And the promise from the source material is clear. Once your mind truly adapts to this new, direct way of thinking, your confidence will absolutely skyrocket. You won't feel the need to mentally prepare before every conversation or constantly second-guess yourself with internal translation. You'll already be living in English, fluent in your own head, and that makes all the difference when you actually open your mouth to speak to someone else.
That's the dream, isn't it? To just live in English, have it be that natural. Once your mind adapts, as the source assures us, your confidence will skyrocket.
Okay.
Okay. Let's set up another scenario, one that I think will resonate with many listeners. You're in a group, maybe work colleagues, maybe friends. It's a lively English-speaking environment. The conversation is buzzing along. You're following everything perfectly. You understand all the jokes, the points being made. And then you have a thought, a really good one, something genuinely insightful you'd love to add.
Yeah, that moment of contribution.
But then that little voice starts up again, that inner whisper. Don't speak. You'll probably sound silly. Maybe make a mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe just stay quiet this time. So you do. You stay quiet. And later, of course, the regret kicks in. You had the words, you had the idea, but you just didn't have the courage to voice it.
Oh, that feeling is the worst.
Now imagine a different version of that scene. Same situation, same great idea, but this time you take a deep breath. Maybe your heart's still pounding a bit.
Yeah.
But you share your thought in English. Maybe it's not perfectly phrased. Maybe you stumble slightly. But people nod. They smile. They actually respond positively, engaging with your idea.
Ah, the connection happens.
That feeling. That's confidence in action. And the key takeaway here is that it's something you can absolutely build, step by tiny step. It's not about suddenly flipping a switch to fearless mode.
No, absolutely not. That scenario perfectly illustrates a really crucial point that this material drives home again and again. Confidence in English is not about somehow becoming fearless. That's unrealistic. It's about taking action despite the fear. It's acknowledging the nervousness, feeling the butterflies, but choosing to engage anyway.
Action despite fear.
Think about learning to ride a bike again. You don't just wake up one morning suddenly knowing how to balance perfectly and pedal smoothly. That confidence is built slowly, right? With small victories.
Yeah, going a few feet without falling.
Exactly. Riding a few feet without falling, making a turn successfully without wobbling too much. Each small success proves to your brain, hey, okay, I can do this. And those successes accumulate, building belief, reinforcing your capability bit by bit.
That bike analogy is so good because it really emphasizes the process, the small, consistent actions, rather than expecting some sudden, massive leap. And the book breaks down this path to building speaking confidence into 7 simple, really actionable steps. Steps that anyone, really at any level, can start following. Let's kick off with step 1. Start small, speak small.
The core idea here is just to remove that immense pressure we often put on ourselves to deliver long, complex speeches or win debates right from the start.
Lower the stakes.
Exactly. Don't set yourself up for potential failure by demanding too much too soon. Instead, begin with very simple, short contributions in real-life situations. Just basic phrases.
Like,
Things like, yes, please, no, thank you. I like this one. Could I have a coffee, please? Or just, excuse me. These tiny, short answers are described as the seeds of confidence.
it's okay.
Each time you successfully utter one, manage to say it and be understood, that little seed grows a tiny bit stronger. Your brain registers it as a success. And over time, those short answers will naturally, almost automatically, expand into longer, more complex sentences without you even having to force it, simply because you've built this solid foundation of small, positive experiences.
It's about building that foundation of tiny triumphs first. Makes sense.
Okay.
That's step 2. Practice in safe spaces. This sounds absolutely vital for managing that initial fear of judgment, giving yourself room to experiment without feeling watched.
It is absolutely crucial. Confidence grows so much faster, and your brain feels much safer experimenting when you can temporarily remove that intense, immediate fear of being judged or misunderstood. So start speaking in environments where you feel completely safe, completely unthreatened.
Like where?
This could mean talking to yourself in the mirror, as we mentioned, using the recording exercise on your phone, maybe describing your day or practicing answers to common questions, reading books or articles out loud to yourself, just getting used to the sound of your own voice speaking English, or ideally practicing with a really supportive friend or maybe finding a dedicated language partner who understands the process.
Finding that supportive environment.
Yes. These private victories, as the book calls them, are so important. They systematically prepare you for more public interactions. They make that eventual transition much smoother because you've already proven to yourself in a safe space that you can actually do it.
Building up that internal strength before facing the wider world. Okay.
Oh.
Step 3. Use the power of repetition. This feels like a fundamental learning principle applicable to so many skills, not just language.
Repetition is absolutely fundamental for building what we call automaticity in language. It's what moves phrases and structures from your conscious, effortful processing part of the brain,
The slow part.
the slow part, exactly, to your subconscious, much faster, effortless system. So the book suggests picking one simple phrase you find yourself needing often. Maybe it's, how are you doing today? Or what do you think about that? And just repeat it out loud, maybe 10 times, really focusing on clear pronunciation and rhythm.
Just drill it.
Just drill it briefly. Then the next day, pick another useful phrase and do the same. The more you repeat these common chunks of language, the more your brain starts to accept English as natural, as readily accessible. And then when a real situation comes up where you need that
It
phrase,
just comes out.
it flows out much more easily, without hesitation, without needing that internal translation step, because you've essentially pre-programmed it through practice.
It's like building muscle memory, but for your tongue and brain. Makes the connection stronger. Okay, then, step 4. Celebrate every attempt. This feels like such an important mindset shift, especially for those of us who tend to be a bit self-critical.
Oh, this is huge. Here's a truth that so many learners miss, and it's a really powerful insight from the material. Confidence doesn't grow from speaking perfectly. That's the illusion. It grows from speaking at all.
Just the act of trying.
Exactly. Every single attempt you make, no matter how imperfect it feels, no matter how many mistakes you think you made, is progress. It's a step forward. Even if your sentence feels broken, even if you know you made errors, the book urges you to consciously celebrate that moment. Tell yourself, I spoke, I tried, I won today.
I won. That's powerful.
That mindset is the essential fuel for growing confidence. It reframes the very act of trying as a victory, and it actively trains your brain to associate speaking English with positive reinforcement, which naturally makes you want to do it more.
Okay, reframing effort as victory. Love it. Step 5. Embrace mistakes as proof of growth. This ties directly back to what we were discussing earlier about reframing errors, doesn't it?
Yes, it reinforces that absolutely critical reframe. Think of every mistake not as a failure, not as something embarrassing, but as a vital workout for your confidence muscle.
A workout.
If you're not making any mistakes, it probably means you're not pushing yourself enough. You're staying too far inside your comfort zone. Without mistakes, there can be no real growth. Each time you speak and maybe make an error, you're teaching your brain a really important lesson. It's safe to try again. It's just part of the process.
It's not the end of the world.
Not at all. And slowly, that paralyzing fear starts to dissipate, and it gets replaced by this growing sense of resilience, of determination, because you've proven to yourself time and time again that a mistake doesn't have to stop you.
That's a really profound shift in perspective. Okay, then step 6. Expand step by step. This suggests a gradual, manageable progression, not trying to leap from beginner to expert overnight.
It's like climbing a staircase, right? You don't just jump from the ground floor straight to the top. You take it one step at a time. So once you start feeling comfortable with those really short answers and simple phrases,
The seeds we planted.
exactly, then you consciously move on to trying full sentences. When that starts to feel more natural and you're feeling a bit more confident, maybe you try engaging in small, simple conversations. Later, you can challenge yourself further, perhaps trying to tell a short story or sharing your opinion on a familiar topic.
Building complexity gradually.
Each level, each successful step you master, carefully prepares you for the next one. It makes the whole journey feel much more achievable, much more sustainable, rather than completely overwhelming. It's about building mastery one rung of the ladder at a time.
A methodical and much more encouraging approach. And finally, step 7. Anchor confidence with body language.
Yeah.
This is something people often overlook, I think, but it can have such a big impact, both on how others see us and how we actually feel.
Absolutely. Confidence isn't just conveyed through the words you choose. It's also profoundly communicated through your physical presence, your posture, your tone of voice, your eye contact.
The nonverbals.
Exactly. Even if you're feeling nervous inside, butterflies fluttering away, consciously choose to stand or sit tall. Take a deep breath before you speak. Try to make eye contact. Offer a small, genuine smile. Your body language signals confidence to the people you're talking to.
Which might make them more receptive.
Exactly. And remarkably, this external presentation of confidence eventually signals confidence back to your own mind. It creates this powerful, positive feedback loop. It's almost like a little shortcut to feeling more confident, even if initially you have to kind of fake it till you make it.
Make it till you make it.
Yeah.
With body language. Okay.
Hmm.
These 7 steps, wow, practiced consistently, they really seem like they could build a truly unshakable foundation for speaking English with more ease. And the book gives us another simple, practical exercise for this section, too. Every day, speak one new sentence aloud in English.
Just one sentence.
Yeah, make it about anything. Your day, your plans, how you're feeling, a comment about the weather. Doesn't matter. Say it with a clear voice, standing tall, looking forward. The book promises, yeah, at first you might feel a bit strange, maybe a little self-conscious doing it.
That initial awkwardness again?
But each day, that sentence becomes a tiny bit easier, feels a little more natural. After a month, that's 30 confident moments you've banked. After a year, that's 365 steps of profound growth, all stemming from one simple daily action.
Small actions, big results over time.
So what does all this really boil down to for you, the listener? It means that confidence is not built in silence, it's built in action. It's about showing up, trying, speaking up, and allowing yourself to be heard, even especially when it feels a little bit scary.
And this leads us directly to a crucial key takeaway from this whole section, a reframe that I personally find incredibly powerful and motivating. Confidence doesn't come after fluency. Confidence is what creates fluency.
So confidence is the engine, not the destination.
Precisely. It's the fuel that drives the whole process forward.
Okay, let's just get really honest for a second. Think back. Think about the last time you made a mistake speaking English.
Yeah, I'll have those moments.
Maybe you used the wrong verb tense. Maybe a word came out sounding completely different than you intended.
Hmm.
Maybe someone genuinely didn't understand what you were trying to say, and you immediately felt that wave of embarrassment, right? That hot flush of shame.
That sinking feeling.
What did you do next? Did you maybe just shut down? Did you promise yourself, okay, note to self, be quiet next time, just to avoid feeling that discomfort again? If any of that sounds even remotely familiar, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. We have all been there. It's a totally natural human reaction.
And this is exactly where we uncover a core truth, a fundamental paradigm shift that this material really hammers home, maybe more than anything else. Mistakes are not signs of failure, they are signs of progress.
Say that again. Mistakes are signs of progress.
Yes, that distinction is critical because without making mistakes, there is simply no growth. There's no learning, there's no pushing beyond your current limits. Every single fluent speaker you admire, anyone you look up to, has a long, long history of making errors, of stumbling, of getting things wrong.
They didn't start out perfect.
Yeah, not even close. The key difference wasn't that they didn't make mistakes, it was that they didn't stop. They didn't let those mistakes defeat them or define them. Instead, they actively, consciously, or unconsciously turned them into powerful motivation, into valuable learning opportunities. Language learning is inherently messy. It's full of errors, corrections, continuous experimentation. It's a dynamic process, not a static state of perfection.
That's such a powerful statement. Without mistakes, there is no growth. So, okay, let's dig into why mistakes are actually so vital, so essential for our learning journey. The book gives us 3 really powerful reasons. First one, mistakes reveal gaps in knowledge. This seems kind of intuitive, but maybe worth exploring a bit more.
It absolutely is. Mistakes act like little diagnostic tools for your brain. You say something like, yesterday you go to school, and maybe someone kindly corrects you, oh, you mean he went to school yesterday.
Now, the irregular verb trap.
Exactly. That specific mistake instantly gave you clarity. It highlighted a specific gap in your knowledge in this case, about irregular past tense verbs. Without making that error, you might never have noticed that particular gap. You might have just carried on using the incorrect form indefinitely.
Right.
Mistakes pinpoint precisely what you need to learn next. They show you exactly where your current understanding breaks down, making your learning incredibly efficient and targeted. They basically shine a spotlight on a way to focus your energy for improvement.
So they're like little personalized flags showing us exactly where to focus our learning energy instead of just randomly studying everything.
Okay.
Second reason, mistakes make you remember better. This is really interesting because it kind of goes against our natural instinct to just avoid making them at all costs.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? But what's fascinating here is a concept that learning psychologists call the testing effect.
The testing effect.
Yeah. When you actively try to recall information or produce language, especially in a real-time situation like a conversation, you inevitably make some errors. But then you either catch it yourself and self-correct, or maybe someone else corrects you. This active process of trying, failing, and then correcting leads to much, much stronger memory retention than if you just passively read the rule in a book or heard it in a lesson.
And so the struggle helps it stick.
Precisely. That one mistake and the process of correcting it might actually teach you more effectively and more permanently than reading 10 pages of a grammar explanation or listening passively for an hour. The slight emotional imprint of making the mistake actually helps to cement the correct information in your memory.
That's a great insight into how our brains actually learn, not just what we're told we should do. Okay. And third reason, mistakes build emotional strength. This connects so directly back to everything we've been discussing about building confidence, doesn't it?
It does, very directly. Think about it. Each time you make a mistake, you experience that little moment of discomfort, maybe mild embarrassment, but you keep going. You don't run away. You don't shut down completely.
You survive it.
You survive it. And in doing so, you are actively building resilience. You're teaching yourself at a really fundamental subconscious level that errors are just part of the journey. They're not fatal roadblocks that should make you give up entirely. They actually become opportunities to strengthen your emotional fortitude, making you less fearful of trying again in the future. You're proving to yourself that you can handle the discomfort, and that is a huge part of gaining genuine, lasting confidence. Like building emotional calluses makes you tougher and more determined.
Building emotional calluses. I like that visual.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we can genuinely reframe mistakes in this positive light,
Yeah.
what does that new perspective actually look like in practice instead of that default thought, oh God, I'm terrible at English, which is just so destructive?
Crushing to your self-belief.
Yeah. The book encourages us to actively, consciously think something like, okay, I made a mistake just then, which means I'm learning something new. That simple, deliberate shift in perspective, it changes everything, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. One thought pattern completely destroys your motivation, while the other actively creates it. The author even suggests adopting some powerful mantras to really help solidify this reframe. Things like, mistakes are my teachers,
Simple, direct.
or every mistake I make brings me one step closer to fluency. And perhaps the most provocative one, to really flip the script on perfectionism. If I never make mistakes, it just means I'm not practicing enough.
Ooh, I love that last one. That completely turns it around and actually encourages you to take more risks, to be bolder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It frames not making mistakes as a sign you're playing it too safe.
Okay, so beyond just reframing our mindset, how do we actively turn these mistakes into tangible motivation? The material gives us 4 really practical steps. First, write them down.
Keeping a dedicated mistake journal can be incredibly effective because it makes the learning process visible and concrete. Each time you notice an error you've made, maybe one you keep repeating, just jot it down. And crucially, write the correct version right next to it.
Like a logbook.
Exactly. So if you caught yourself saying, I got to the park, you'd write, mistake, I got, correction, I went. Then review this journal maybe once a week. Very quickly, you'll start to see tangible, undeniable proof of your progress right there in black and white, which is a massive motivator. You'll spot patterns, and then you'll see those patterns start to disappear as you internalize the corrections.
That's a great way to track progress visually and make it feel real. Okay, second strategy. Laugh at them. This sounds like a fantastic way to just diffuse that tension and embarrassment that often accompanies making an error.
Humor is such a powerful tool. It genuinely destroys fear, and bonus, it often makes things more memorable. If you accidentally say something funny or awkward, and trust me, it happens to everyone learning a language, try not to panic or flush red with embarrassment. Just laugh.
Easier said than done sometimes.
It takes practice, but I remember once, years ago in a Spanish class, I was trying to say, I'm embarrassed, tengo vergüenza. But I mixed up the words and accidentally declared estoy embarazada, which means I'm pregnant.
Oh, no.
The whole class just erupted in laughter. And you know what? I have never forgotten the correct word for embarrass since that day. People will almost always laugh with you sharing the human moment, not at you maliciously. And often, that humorous memory, that little bit of awkwardness, is exactly what makes the correct version of the word or phrase stick in your mind far better than any flashcard.
It's a wonderful coping mechanism and a great story.
Hmm.
Okay, third, practice the correction immediately. This seems like it would really help solidify the correct form right there in the moment it's relevant.
It does. It capitalizes on that moment of awareness. If you discover you've made an error, whether you caught it yourself or someone kindly pointed it out, actively repeat the correct version, maybe 3 times, out loud if possible. This immediate conscious repetition helps to rewire your brain right then and there, reinforcing the correct neural pathway and making it much more likely you'll use it correctly the next time that situation arises. It's like immediately paving over the wrong turn you just took.
Laying down the new track instantly.
Mm.
Okay. And finally, track progress. not perfection. This feels like a much healthier and more encouraging metric for long-term learning, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Instead of getting bogged down and potentially demotivated by counting how many mistakes you might still be making, shift your focus entirely. Track something positive. Count how many fewer mistakes you made this week compared to last week in a certain area. Or track how many times you successfully repaired a mistake yourself mid-conversation rather than just giving up. That is real, measurable progress. And focusing on that forward movement is far more motivating than chasing some impossible, undefined ideal of perfection. You're constantly improving, and acknowledging that improvement is key.
This really does change the game for so many people, I think. And just to put it all into real-life perspective, the book reminds us, think about native speakers. Do they speak perfectly all the time? Of course not.
Not even close.
They mispronounce words sometimes. They forget grammar rules occasionally. They use filler words constantly.
Hmm.
They restructure sentences halfway through,
Hmm.
yet they never stop speaking because of it. So the book asks, quite pointedly, why should you? Your mistakes don't make you less capable. They make you human. They make you a learner. And ultimately, learning from them makes you a more resilient and effective communicator.
That's such an important point to internalize. It normalizes the whole messy process and removes that unrealistic pressure we often heap on ourselves to be absolutely flawless from day one. And the source gives us one more simple, practical exercise to reinforce this. At the end of each day, maybe try writing down just one English sentence about a mistake you noticed yourself making that day. Then, right underneath it, rewrite the sentence correctly.
Like the journal, but focused on one a day.
Exactly. So if your mistake was, I go to the park, your entry might just be, mistake today, I go to the park. Correction, I went to the park. By consciously acknowledging it, correcting it, and physically writing it down, the next time you need that past tense verb, your brain will have a much stronger recall cue for the correct form.
Okay, so remember everyone, fluency isn't some perfectly straight, paved road. It's full of bumps, maybe some wrong turns, occasional detours, but every single mistake is actually a sign that you're on that road, that you're moving forward, that you're actively engaging with the language. The only real mistake, the book argues, is silence born of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time you stumble, don't beat yourself up. Try to smile, maybe even laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Tell yourself, okay, this mistake is proof I'm learning, and I'm actually one step closer to fluency because of it. Because every error you embrace and learn from today is actively shaping the confident, fluent English speaker you're becoming tomorrow. Okay, let's try something for a second. If you can do so safely right now, maybe just close your eyes for a moment. And imagine this. You wake up in the morning, you go to the mirror, and the very first words you say out loud with real conviction are, I am confident I am improving my English every single day.
Feel that.
Can you feel it? Maybe a little smile starts to spread across your face. Something shifts inside you. Just a tiny spark of belief, maybe. A flicker of hope. That spark, the book tells us, if you repeat it daily, consistently, with real intention, it grows. It grows into a powerful, unshakable flame of confidence. This, my friends, is the incredible and often really underestimated power of affirmations.
Yeah, they can be surprisingly effective.
These short, positive statements specifically designed to help reprogram your mind, to get you to truly believe in your own success and your own capability.
It's important to clarify, though, as the book does, that affirmations aren't like magic spells.
Right, not instant fixes.
Exactly. You don't just say them once and expect miracles overnight. However, when you repeat them daily with genuine intention, maybe even some emotion behind them, they possess this remarkable ability to gradually shake your thoughts, change your emotions, and build habits that actively propel you towards your fluency goals.
Shaping thoughts, changing emotions, building habits. Okay.
Language learning, as we've talked about throughout this whole deep dive, is just as much about cultivating the right resilient mindset as it is about mastering grammar or memorizing vocabulary, maybe even more so sometimes.
The inner game.
The inner game,
Wow.
precisely. And affirmations are one of the strongest, most direct tools we have available to consciously build and fortify that positive, proactive mindset. They act like mental scaffolding, supporting your confidence as it grows.
Mental scaffolding. I like that. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's about consistent mental training, almost like a form of positive self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
So why do they actually work? How do they create this change? The book outlines three core reasons. First, they replace negative thoughts. This feels like a direct counterattack on that nagging inner critic we all seem to have.
It absolutely is, and it's probably their most vital function. So many learners carry around this constant, damaging internal monologue that says things like, oh, I just can't do this, my English is so bad, people are going to laugh if I try to speak.
That negative loop.
Affirmations actively work to silence that corrosive inner critic. They do it by consciously replacing those negative self-defeating beliefs with positive, empowering ones. You're essentially overwriting old, unhelpful mental programming with new, beneficial code. It really is like weeding a garden, pulling out the toxic thoughts to make space for healthy, vibrant ones to grow. This active replacement is what makes them so potent.
Okay, weeding the mental garden. Got it. Second reason, they create focus.
Hmm.
How does just saying a positive statement actually help sharpen our mental focus on our English goals?
It's interesting how this works. When you consistently affirm something positive, like, I am improving my English every day, your brain, specifically a part called the reticular activating system, naturally starts to actively look for evidence to support that statement throughout your day.
Starts looking for proof.
Exactly. Suddenly, you begin to notice the small points of progress, the tiny victories, those moments of clarity in a conversation that maybe you would have completely ignored or dismissed before. Affirmations act like a mental spotlight, directing your attention, your focus, onto the positive aspects of your progress. This makes you more aware of your growth, which in turn reinforces the belief that you are getting better, creating a positive upward spiral.
That's a great way to boost morale and stay motivated, actually seeing the progress you might otherwise overlook.
It's okay.
And third, they strengthen confidence through repetition. This ties back into habit formation and just how our brains learn to believe things over time, doesn't it?
Precisely. It's a fundamental principle of neuroplasticity. The more often you hear a message, especially when it comes from yourself, spoken with conviction, the more your brain begins to accept it as truth, as reality. Affirmations, through this consistent, repeated messaging, effectively help turn confidence from just a fleeting emotion you hope for.
Something fragile.
Yes. Into a deeply ingrained habit, something that feels more natural, more inherent, rather than something fleeting or forced. It's like building a strong, invisible belief system within yourself. The consistent positive input eventually becomes your internal reality.
Okay, so what do these powerful daily affirmations actually sound like?
Yeah.
The book gives some fantastic, specific examples, statements designed to really resonate and empower English learners. Listeners can pick the ones that feel right for them.
Yeah, they're great starting points.
Things like, I think in English, and my words flow naturally. Every mistake I make is helping me grow stronger. I am confident and calm when I speak English. I learn English quickly and easily. My English gets better and better every single day. I deserve to express myself fully in English without fear. Ah, and I like this one too. I'm not afraid of speaking. I am excited to speak.
Those are really powerful, aren't they? Each one targets a slightly different aspect of the learning journey. Fluency, mistakes, confidence, speed, self-worth, excitement versus fear.
Yeah, you can pick what you need most.
And the key is finding the one, or maybe two or three, that resonate most powerfully with you personally, with your specific challenges or goals right now. But just knowing them isn't enough, right? The book gives clear, practical guidance on how to use affirmations effectively to maximize their impact. First, speak them aloud.
Yes, we touched on this, the audible power of the words. Feeling the energy as you say them, making them physically real in the room.
Exactly. When you speak your affirmations out loud, you engage more of your senses. You hear your own voice saying these positive things. You might even feel the slight vibration. It makes the message more impactful, helps it sink deeper into your subconscious. Second crucial tip, look in the mirror.
Ah, the mirror exercise again. This makes so much sense for connecting the message directly to your own identity, looking yourself in the eye.
It really does. When you face yourself directly in the mirror and declare, maybe with a bit of force, I am confident when I speak English, your brain links that powerful message directly to your identity, to the person looking back at you. That direct eye contact reinforces the belief much more strongly, makes it feel deeply personal, truly about you. Third tip, repeat, repeat, repeat.
Consistency is absolutely king here, isn't it? Saying it just once isn't going to rewire years of negative self-talk.
Absolutely not. One time is barely a blip on the radar when you're trying to reprogram deeply ingrained thought patterns, maybe ones you've had for years. The book recommends repeating your chosen affirmation at least 3 times each session, and honestly, more is often better. Consistency over intensity is the real secret sauce here. Daily repetition is key. Fourth tip, write them down.
Visual reminders. So helpful for keeping these positive thoughts top of mind throughout a busy day.
They really are. And it engages yet another sense of the kinesthetic sense of writing. Keep a small notebook or use sticky notes. Write down your chosen affirmations. Then place them strategically where you'll actually see them frequently during your day, maybe on your computer monitor, your bathroom mirror, taped to your desk, even set as your phone's lock screen background. This constant visual reinforcement keeps the positive message front and center in your awareness, subtly reminding and nudging your brain toward your goal. And finally, number 5, visualize while saying them.
Ooh, this adds another layer. Don't just speak the words mechanically, but truly feel and imagine them coming true as you say them.
Precisely. This adds crucial emotional and experiential depth. Don't just robotically recite the words. Imagine yourself actively living the affirmation. So when you say, I speak English with confidence and ease, really picture yourself in a conversation. See yourself smiling, making easy eye contact, feeling strong, articulate, understood. Visualize the positive outcome. This visualization adds an emotional charge that dramatically amplifies the power of the affirmation, helping your brain believe it's not just possible, but that it's already starting to happen.
These are incredible, really concrete tools for self-transformation. And the book even provides a clear daily routine example just to make it super easy for people to integrate this into their lives without feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, it breaks it down nicely.
So the example is, in the morning, maybe first thing, you stand in front of the mirror, take a nice deep breath, and say your 3 chosen affirmations out loud, maybe 3 times each, really looking at yourself. Then during the day, if you feel a moment of nervousness coming on before you need to speak English,
Yeah,
you silently repeat one of your core affirmations in your head just to calm yourself and reconnect with that feeling of capability.
like a quick mental reset.
Exactly. And then in the evening, maybe before bed, you write down one of your affirmations in your journal and perhaps just briefly reflect on how it might have influenced your thoughts or actions that day.
That structured approach makes it feel so much more achievable, doesn't it? Less abstract, more like a simple daily habit to cultivate. And there's that sample practice suggestion too, just to get started. Tomorrow morning, try this. Say out loud, I'm becoming fluent in English. Every word I speak makes me stronger. Repeat it 5 times.
Just try it for a week.
Yeah. The book promises you'll likely notice a palpable shift in your energy. You'll feel your baseline confidence starting to grow, maybe within just a week or 2. Not because your grammar suddenly became perfect overnight, but because your fundamental belief in yourself and your own capabilities is getting stronger, more resilient day by day.
And this brings us to that beautiful analogy the book uses, which kind of encapsulates the whole power of affirmations perfectly. Your mind is like soil. Negative thoughts are weeds. Affirmations are seeds.
Love that.
If you consciously, deliberately plant and water those positive seeds every single day, with consistency, with belief, they will undeniably grow. They'll grow into confidence, they'll grow into fluency, and ultimately they'll grow into a genuine sense of freedom when you speak English. You are the gardener of your own mind.
So the takeaway is clear. Make affirmations an integral, non-negotiable daily part of your English learning life. Because when you truly start to believe in yourself, when that belief is consistently nurtured and reinforced from within, your words will begin to flow more freely, more effortlessly. And when your words flow, a whole new world of connection, opportunity, and authentic self-expression opens up to you.
Wow. Okay. We have covered so much ground today. We've taken this incredible journey together, haven't we?
It's been a real deep dive.
From understanding those frustrating moments of freezing up to digging into the deep root causes of hesitation, that internal translation habit, those mental barriers, and then moving into actively building new mental habits, new ways of thinking, and new belief systems.
From problem to solution.
Exactly. Take a moment right now. Just really try to imagine that confident version of you. The one who thinks in English naturally, effortlessly. The one who speaks without that constant fear looming over them. The one who feels completely at ease in conversations, able to truly express their authentic self, their ideas, their personality. That version of you, according to all the insights we've explored today. It already exists.
It's within reach.
It's not some distant, impossible dream. It's a reality that's just waiting to be built step by you using the tools we've discussed.
That's absolutely right. Every insight we've pulled out today from Think in English, Speak with Confidence, has been like laying another crucial brick in that foundation you're building for yourself. We've learned that thinking directly in English isn't some magical innate gift. It's a learnable habit, a mental muscle you can actively strengthen. We've discovered that those mental barriers that feel so solid, so impenetrable, they're actually just illusions built from fear, and you now have clear, actionable tools to start breaking them down.
We know how to dismantle them.
We've explored simple yet incredibly powerful daily practices that can help turn your internal thoughts into English automatically, bypassing that translation step. You've hopefully understood why mistakes are not failures to be feared, but powerful teachers to be embraced, and how to use them as stepping stones for motivation.
Mistakes as fuel.
And finally, you've armed yourself with the profound power of daily affirmations to consciously reprogram your mind for success, keeping your belief in yourself strong and resilient every single day.
So this isn't really the end of your journey. It feels much more like the vibrant beginning, doesn't it? Confidence truly grows with action. Fluency comes from actually living in the language, from using it every day in small ways, not from waiting until you achieve some elusive, perfect level of grammar or vocabulary mastery.
Perfection is not the prerequisite.
Right. So let's maybe lay out your new path forward, some concrete, immediate action steps you can take, starting literally right now, today, as soon as this finishes.
Okay, let's summarize the action plan. When you wake up tomorrow morning, maybe even before you get out of bed, begin with just one powerful affirmation. Say it aloud if you can.
Start the day strong.
Then, as you go about your day, just try narrating some of your simple actions in English, even if it's just silently in your head while you're making breakfast or walking to work.
Integrate it immediately.
When that familiar feeling of fear or doubt starts to creep in, that little voice saying, "Don't speak," actively remind yourself, every mistake I make is just proof I'm learning. It's helping me grow. It's making me more resilient.
Reframe the fear instantly.
And maybe most importantly, when you do succeed, maybe you manage to order your lunch in English or you understand a joke someone tells, no matter how small that success feels. Consciously acknowledge it. Celebrate it internally. Give yourself a little mental high five. Let that positive feeling fuel your very next step.
Celebrate the small wins.
Yeah.
Definitely. Those small steps taken consistently day after day with real intention, they truly do create monumental transformation over time. It's the compound effect.
Mhm.
And maybe here's a final truth, a final thought to carry with you from this deep dive. Fluency isn't really about knowing every single word in the entire English language. That's impossible. It's much more about trusting the words you already know and having the confidence to use them to connect with others.
Trust what you have.
Confidence isn't about never feeling nervous or anxious before speaking. That might never fully go away. It's about feeling the nerves and speaking anyway, choosing courage over comfort.
Action despite fear, again.
And growth isn't about desperately avoiding mistakes at all costs. It's about learning how to use them as powerful stepping stones to propel you forward on your path.
You genuinely have everything you need to succeed already within you. The tools we've discussed, the potential for shifting your mindset, the motivation you hopefully feel right now, it's all inside you, maybe dormant, but fully present. The only real question left hanging in the air is, will you take action? Will you choose today to start unleashing that confident English speaker who's waiting inside?
That is the challenge, isn't it? To bridge the gap between knowing and doing. To take that first brave step, even if it feels small. So we really want to encourage you right now, listening to this, to make a promise to yourself. Maybe say it out loud wherever you are if you can. Feel the power in these words. I will think in English. I will speak with confidence. I will not let fear or mistakes stop me anymore.
Feel the intention behind those words. Let them resonate. Let them guide you forward from this moment.
Every single day presents a new opportunity, a new chance to practice, to improve, to let your voice shine a little brighter. Don't wait for the perfect moment because it might never come. Don't wait for tomorrow. Begin today.
Yes. Speak one sentence in English right now.
Even if it's just whispering it to yourself. That small action could be the tiny spark that ignites everything. Your journey to confidence hasn't ended with this deep dive. It has truly just begun. Keep walking that path, keep practicing, keep speaking, and most of all, keep believing in yourself. The world is genuinely ready and waiting to hear your unique voice, your confident, authentic English-speaking voice. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible deep dive today.